What business do you think are front for money laundering? What would your superhero catchphrase be? What do you miss most about the 2010s? A lot. Social media wasn't as invasive as it's become. Trump was just another celebrity with a big mouth. What? Dude, he was president for 4 years in the 2010s, dummy! What are you talking about? Unfortunately, he was. Unfortunately, marriage equality was becoming a thing for non-straight people. We assumed Roe v. Wade would be a galvanizer during elections, but not much else. White supremacy seemed on the decline, or so we thought. Many of it was wishful thinking. It was still nice to assume we were better than we really were. Now it's pretty tough to assume that anymore. Early 2010s YouTube and Vine. Man, the way social media worked. It wasn't overrun with branded content, and influencers were hardly a thing. If you didn't want to see content from celebrities, you didn't have to. It felt like an even playing field. Probably early 2010s pop with Lady Gaga, Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. Perfect balance of catchy and pretentiousness. Being a kid. I mean, I'm still just a teenager, but now life is just more complicated and stressful. I miss when I didn't know anything about the real world. Things were cheaper then. Less YouTube ads. Being happy. I have made such ridiculous choices in the past 3 years. Katy Perry's music. Her music changed so much and it just doesn't feel the same. I miss her old stuff. The relative lack of global pandemics. You can say that again. I'm just saying. The fact that many projects online were merely hobbies rather than being for financial gain. Which TV show takes a while to get really good? I'll say it. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It had some of the most inventive writing on television, and the character growth and development over the course of 7 seasons was amazing. I'm actually binging it right now. Give it a chance. It gets amazingly outstandingly good by season 5. By season 5? Though prior seasons are good to great, season 2 is pretty amazing and contains Whedon's favorite episode. If you're skeptical, watch an episode called Hush and see what it can be like at some of its heights. It also has the best thing Whedon has written or directed, and one of the best episodes on television called The Body. But don't watch that without having seen the show. It robs it of its power. Parks and Rec first season is a slog to get through. Season 2 onwards is gold though. I love Parks and Rec. I actually can vouch for this. Season 1 freaking was not good. But season 2, really spectacular. Venture Bros. Being as a silly, typical Adult Swim cartoon before developing into something more substantial. I feel like it's like that with a lot of cartoons. Like, it was like that with Adventure Time and Regular Show and Steven Universe, just to name some Cartoon Network stuff. Like, the first couple seasons are like, whatever, and then it gets kind of lore-y. It's nice. Dead Like Me. Funny as some great characters, and they knew when to cut and run before it got stupid. Severance. Just enough intrigue to keep me going, and then by the season finale, I was on the edge of my seat, and I'm begging for the next season. Schitt's Creek. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this show. Maybe we'll have to give it a chance. The Expanse. Better Call Saul ramps up so well. I would sure hope so after it blew up as a meme recently. I can't go 3 TikToks without hearing The Office. First season was bad. To each their own. Star Trek The Next Generation. The Good Place. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Gamers of old. What will the gamers of the modern console generation never be able to experience? Renting games at the weekend and having mates sleep over to try and beat it all. I actually never got to rent any video games ever. If I wanted a video game, I had to commit. That's why I was a Nintendo kid. Not being able to turn to the internet for a guide when you can't figure something out. LAN parties. Not hearing a load of opinions about a game before you've bought and played it yourself. And apparently split screen for most games. Buying a physical walkthrough of the entire game at the bookstore, at the mall, after you get stuck on a level. I did this with most Pokemon games, actually. I would always buy the walkthrough guide so I would know where to find all the items and the TMs and the gym leader teams so I knew who to use and when. The satisfaction of beating an entire game without the ability to save or use level codes. How is that a new generation thing? You can save in any video game. The moment when you yourself, when you see the Sony logo but not the PlayStation logo after. Pausing to turn the floppy disk over before continuing. I'm replaying Bard's Tale Trilogy, 1980s. I now remember we had to map the game by hand back then. Literal paper and pencil. The joystick had one button. Who just straight up disappeared? Someone's gonna say their dad going for milk. Yeah, that's what I was expecting too. One of my cousins, she was under a ton of stress. Difficult divorce, sick parent, hard job, and one day she took the kids to school. No one ever saw her again. No body's ever been found, but there also hasn't been anyone applying for work with her social security number either. So we don't know what happened to her. Her little brother has since died. Her oldest child is about to start college. I wish she knew how much her absence has felt. Ronald McDonald. They got rid of him during the whole weird clown thing going on in 2016. He's been the weird clown thing for almost 60 years as it is anyway. Yeah, I never really thought about that. How to bring back the clown? Everybody likes Ronald. Tom from MySpace, and props for doing so. Dude took his millions and is living on an island somewhere, instead of using that wealth to buy influence and make the world worse for the rest of us. true. Maybe he really was everybody's friend. Tom from MySpace was the friendship that was made along the way. Shelly Miscavige. Where's your wife, David? 2 kids I went to elementary school with. Their dad was a union president and shot by John Goddess guys in the 80s and survived. Family went into witness protection and vanished. Judy Winslow, the youngest daughter on Family Matters. Harold Holt. What was humanity's big fuck up? Seeing being rude as having power. Many were increasingly of the opinion that they'd all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move, and that no one should have ever left the oceans. Dolphins agree. The pug. I love pugs. I think they're so cute, but we need to stop breeding them. Guys, come on. They're in so much pain. They're not real. They're not real dogs. It's just a science experiment. They're miserable. Let the pugs go. Not going all in on nuclear. We could have solved absolutely everything if we just sucked it up on the growing pains and stuck with it. Imagine a world where everything is nuclear powered. Climate change wouldn't even be a thing. Imagine if every big nasty ship out there had a reactor like the US military does. The air would be so much cleaner. Using fossil fuels like we do. Yeah, I'd really like the entire US economy to stop running on dinosaurs, please. Can we figure something out, guys? I want to live on the planet a little longer. Social media. It's such poison. Discovering fire. How is that a fuck up? I like being toasty warm sometimes. When do people show their true colors? When it involves money. Usually that color is green. When they get comfortable in a relationship. I'm not gonna fart around a girl who I just met. She's in it for the long run. Then I'll start farting. I'm just saying. When a family member dies and we have to discuss inheritance. Behind the wheel in heavy traffic. When times are tough, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Gentle reminder, tell your friends you love them when they really want something. When interacting with someone who has nothing to offer them. What scares you the most when you think about marriage? Being cheated on. It hurts so much when that one person you trusted with your life and told everything that troubled you goes with another person that you know doesn't care for them like you do. Hey, we've been there, man. But remember, cheaters never prosper, alright? My partner doing a complete 180 as soon as we're married. Getting into it and realizing you made a mistake. They're abusive or they annoy you so much you can't stand them or something else. Marriage is a commitment that takes time, but what if you get married and then you realize you were wrong? Don't get into it too quick. You know, you really gotta know you'll love that person and you, like, if you get married and then they're annoying all of a sudden, that's kind of your problem, you know? Like, you should have figured out they're annoying before that. My parents have been married for something like 54 years. My biggest fear is marrying the wrong woman and ending up divorced. I guess I fear not living up to my parents' marriage. The wedding itself. Expensive divorce. Wife putting the kids against me. Waste of time. She could wake up one day, decide she doesn't love me anymore, and I lose half my and probably my house. God forbid there's kids in the situation. I'd be lucky for 50% of the time with my kids. Also, if there's kids, she's getting way more than half my Can you tell I have trust issues? This is a good one, guys. What famous person has the most punchable face? Jake Paul. Seems like not very many people can hit him since he keeps winning all of his boxing matches. Jesus. Zuck. I can vouch on this one. Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, look at this face. Look at that face. Steve Siegel. Why do you want to punch a bird? What did the bird do to you? That Ezra dude. Miller. James Corden. This is the one. This is the one. Todd from Breaking Bad. I'd say any Todd. You're right. Have you ever met a Todd that just has that face? Machine Gun Kelly. You know, he saved Punk Pop. Yeah, it's true. It's true. He saved it. He saved it, you know? Joking, of course. Chris Rock, according to Will Smith. LMAO, you win. What do you do in your free time? Free time? You mean my procrastination time? Let's just talk about it later. Maybe next week? This. That. 4 o'clock. Wallow in self-pity. 4:30. Stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock. Solve world hunger and tell no one. 5:30. Jazzercise. 6:30. Dinner with me. You jazzercise for an hour? 7 o'clock. Wrestle with my self-loathing. I think about gaming, but have absolutely no energy to be as competitive as I once was. So I just watch other people play it instead. Damn. I do door-to-door sales of lobotomy kits. Hey, here's my address. Sign me up. Cry. Overthinking. If you had absolutely no attachments to where you currently live and wanted a fresh start, where would you go and why? I would live where I am still because I love seeing rocket launches and I want to work in the space industry. Australia, because they all speak English and live at the beach. Living in Australia, and I've been brainstorming this question for a few minutes now. I don't think I would move. Scotland! Scotland forever! I would not move to Scotland. As many others have said, Norway, there's something about that country. Alaska, Arkansas, or Iceland. They all look great in their own ways, and well, Northern Lights for 2 out of 3. Yeah, it's a shame you can't see Northern Lights in Iceland, but, you know, I've been to Arkansas before, and let me tell you, the Aurora Borealis are so good down there. I'm telling you, man. Some other country that's not the States. What tip sounds stupid until you try it? Blow drying your nether region after a shower. Standing in front of a fan also does the trick. Only fan. To get brownies out of a cake pan, take out the second brownie first. If you have to wear mud boots over other footwear, put your feet in plastic shopping bags to easily finally get the mud boots off. When you have trouble sleeping, press your thumb onto your glabella for 20 seconds 3 times with 10-second breaks in between. It doesn't put me right to sleep, but I'll be asleep within 10 minutes as long as I try. What is a glabella? I must Google it. The smooth part of the forehead above and between the eyebrows. That's a glabella? I just started pressing my thumb up against my glabella. Guys, I'm so tired now. It worked. Adding a little bit of sugar to your tomato sauce can help balance out the acidity. Eating a spoonful of peanut butter for hiccups. If you want to remember your dreams, then get into the habit of saying to yourself, tonight I will dream, and in the morning I will remember the dream every night. You won't remember all of them, but you'll remember far more than before. This one's for college students. Sleeping is conducive to learning. Not getting enough sleep makes it harder to learn and understand, so you spend more time studying, so you spend less time sleeping. You see where that's going? I had a reasonably bright friend fail out. I'm 95% sure he was doing constant all-nighters. If you have floor vents, lay down next to it with a sheet and put the sheet over the vent and wrap yourself up and blow all the hot air into the pocket. Every few minutes, give a break and rinse and repeat makes winter bearable. Keeping yourself warm with a heater. Wild. What's the best crowd pleaser song you can play at a party regardless of who's there? I'll tell you right now, in the current political climate, Seabat. You gotta play Seabat. In my travels around the world, I heard one song almost every place I went. Everyone loved it and it could sing the lyrics regardless of the native tongue. Drum roll. Hotel California by the Eagles. What a good song. Maybe, hear me out, Hotel California by the Eagles, probably one of the top 5 songs of all time. I'm just saying. Anything by Queen, probably. Signed, Sealed, Delivered by Stevie Wonder. I Want You Back by Jackson 5 and Kiss by Prince. Any more, you have to hire me. Today I learned I don't want to party with any of you. Parties are overrated, man. If I want to party, I'll just hang out with my dog, eat some popcorn, watch, I don't know, cartoon on HBO Max or something. That's a party. Jump Around by House of Pain and This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan. Both are good to get people on their feet. What is this, middle school? These are songs people, like, you go to a middle school social, like a sock hop, and you hear these songs. Every Morning by Sugar Ray and Eye to Eye from the Goofy Movie by Tevin Campbell. Those are my go-tos and have been heavily successful. In the Air Tonight, Anything Queen, specific to Australia, The Nut Bush, and also, Am I Ever Gonna See Your Face? Mr. Brightside, Living on a Prayer, Johnny Be Good. Between those 3, you'll get most people fired up unless the entire party is completely indifferent to anything with guitars in it, in which case, Darude Sandstorm should do the trick. Mr. Brightside, Pump Up the Jam. Whoop, there it is. Gonna make you sweat. Everybody dance now. Again, this is middle school stuff, guys, come on. This is literally what my 7th grade girlfriend and I danced to, and by dance I mean we jumped up and down in front of each other, waving our arms all wiggly. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. I almost said John Bovey. I know his name is John Bon Jovi or something, but John Bovey just sounds so much better. Country Roads? Do not invite this person. Do not invite Reddit user u/CampPillow to a party. They're not gonna play Country Roads at a function, you stinky dummy. What's the most badass quote you've ever heard? If. Edit. I guess this might need more context. In response to Philip II of Macedonia telling Sparta, you are advised to submit without further delay. For if I bring my army into your land, I will destroy your farms, slay your people, and raise your city. If is good. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John A. Shedd. Guy's last name is Shedd. Come on. It's not what you know, it's what people think you know. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Oh God, I fucking love this quote. Holy moly. I'm pumped now. I'm pumped up just by saying it. Woo! The fight is here. I don't need a ride. I need more ammunition. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. By The Watchmen. Good book. Not a great movie. Good book. I can't be anything to anyone if I am nothing to myself. I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed such great and terrible sin, God would not have sent a punishment such as I upon you. Genghis Khan. Holy moly. Death can have me when it earns me. Kratos, the fucking god of war. Consider this a divorce. Arnie, what completely untrue rumors have you had spread about you? I am a dwarf, the only one in my family, and my dad worked as an engineer in a nuclear power station. Apparently in school, there were rumors that radiation caused me to mutate into a dwarf. Amazing. The more boring answer is that my parents just had me very late. Mom was 39, dad 41, and my form of dwarfism is linked to advanced paternal age. A rumor was started about me at work. The gist was that a lot of people were getting in trouble and they assumed it was me because I worked in HR. It took for someone almost beating me up for the HR director to step in and confirm that I was not the person reporting them. Heard from a lot of people that I'm either a school shooter or a serial killer because I have a lot of weird specific knowledge and I'm quiet. That I begged a lady at work to peg me. This dude works with like 8 Gen Zers. When I was in my early 20s, I worked at a restaurant and a woman who was almost 40 got pregnant, and somehow it was rumored I was the father. Literally had never hung out with her. We barely even interacted at work either. I have no idea how that rumor started. Dude, that would be horrible. Imagine you're just chilling at work and then someone accuses you of being a baby daddy? Mother father, dude, no way. About 15 years ago, people in my family falsely accused me of stealing from them and selling the things. It was of course false, but for years they would just not let it go and face the fact that it was their child that did it. It caused a massive rift in the family. At this point, I don't even care. I've been happily not talking to them for the last 8 years. What TV series ended on a cliffhanger before they were unexpectedly canceled but really deserved a chance to wrap up the story? Pushing Daisies. I really enjoyed I Am Not Okay With This. Was hoping to see where they took it. Terra Nova. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Carnivale. Flash Forward. Excellent concept that got canned after season 1. Heartbroken. Alf. Terminator. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Perfect season 2 ending with a giant cliffhanger and then Fox cancels it. Still not over this one. So many science fiction series. Off the top of my head, Dark Matter, Almost Human, Earth 2. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard of most, if not all of those shows. I know what Alf is, and of course Terminator, but I didn't know there was a Terminator show. I just know of Terminator. I had no idea what any of those shows were about. Not a clue. What makes your life worth living? Nothing, actually. Do you need a hug? I'll give you a hug. Music. Knowing I will watch my kids become better versions of their father and I. I may be struggling mentally, but I raise damn good kids. Family, children, friends, food, and travel. The combination thereof is the best. My dog. Feeling a sense of purpose. Having things to look forward to. I'm here, may as well try to make the best of it. What is a band that broke up that you wish would get back together? My band of friends from high school? Outcast. The Talking Heads. Foreigner. I need to see them with Lou Graham. Oasis. Oh, what I wouldn't give to watch Oasis perform Wonderwall live. Most of the bands I listen to broke up for good reasons. Husker Du, Uncle Tupelo, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, always personality conflicts. Daft Punk, aka the correct answer. Fleetwood Mac, Malice Miser, and Destiny's Child. What smells better than it tastes? Soap, scented candles. Speaking for yourself, I'll bite into some wax. Gasoline, vanilla extract. I learned that one the hard way. Cologne, most brands of fruit tea. I disagree. Revenge. I immediately thought of the Captain Sparkles song, and I was like, you can't smell or taste that. Coffee, scented erasers, all those lime-flavored room and car fresheners. Subway. If dolphins were using Reddit, what would be asked here? Here, I got you. That's how dolphins sound. Oh, that was so bad. I can't. I tried to go like No, it's the same. Why can't I do it? That was so embarrassing. Oh no. More sex-related questions. They're big perverts. None. They would just say, so long and thanks for all the fish. Nice try, dolphin. I know you're using this to know what not to ask to blend in with us humans. What do you hate most about sharks? If humans were using Reddit, what questions would be asked here? Dolphins of Reddit. What NSFW things have happened in SeaWorld that most humans don't know about? Keep, chirp, chirp. They wanted me to jump through the hoop, but I refused. Am I the... What's the difference between living and existing? Living is knowing you're alive, feeling the good and bad things life throws your way. Existing is living a mundane life. You have no feelings. You don't care whether you live or die. To exist is to be. To live is to do. Very poetic. Living, you enjoy yourself. Existing is just, I'm just here. I just exist. I do not live. For me, it's being in that space between life and death. You feel every second passing, every breath, and every beat of your heart. This is life. Something dead will exist. Life is a subset of existence. A rock exists, but isn't alive. Or lives very slow, like detritus. To live is to risk it all. Otherwise, you're just a chunk of randomly assembled molecules drifting wherever the universe blows you. You did not just quote Rick and Morty in this gosh dang Reddit thread. I enjoy living. I merely exist. Living is feeling the boobs. Existing is touching the boobs. If Noah's Ark is real, what did they do with all that animal poop? I assume they would just throw it overboard, they not? Shovel it over the side. Also, lots of creatures love poop, so you're recycling food. Good for the environment of a flooded planet from global warming? Better question is, How did Noah feed all those animals for 40 days and 40 nights? Did he feed the zebras to the lions? If the entire earth was covered with water, what did he feed the herbivores? God said to Noah, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Of all the plot holes you go for, the I forgot shovels and sides of the boat exist. 1. Noah's Ark is impossible. The number of species on the planet would require an ark the size of an island. Chucked it over the side. Every hour, the people on the ship took time out for thoughts and prayers to make the poo disappear magically. And if you don't believe that, your faith is failing you, sinner. Burnt for warmth. Dumped it over the side and called it New Jersey. Hey, New Jersey. What is something popular now, but in 5 years, everyone will look back and be embarrassed they liked it? Those overfilled Botox lips. They just look dumb. TikTok trends. Implants. I find them repulsive. Words like cringe and lit will be the groovy and rad of the next generation. Tattooed eyebrows. Elon Musk. Yeah, can we forget about him now? Like, can we get rid of him? Can we get him out of here? I don't really want another 5 years of Elon. The industrial look for house decor and furniture. Maybe we'll take 10 years for people to look back and go, and realize they were ripped off. Let's bend some old metal frame, paint it black, add a piece of beech driftwood, and call it a modern design shelf, and charge $300 for it. Profit margin 95%. Overly filtered photos. Our reliance on social media. Dressing up like Hulk Hogan and masturbating on the top of a pile of dog in a public park. Is this a thing? It's gonna be once I find some dog. Andrew Tate. I would be embarrassed already. He seems insufferable. QAnon. God, I hope so. Being an OnlyFans model. Nothing wrong with being an OnlyFans model. Sex workers, get your fucking bag. You got my support all the way through and through. Yeezy foam runners. What do you think is the most underrated game? Conker's Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64. Uncharted Waters 2 for the SNES. Fun JRPG set in the age of exploration and piracy, which was enjoyed by about 4 people from what I can tell. Psychonauts needs more love. I think the sequel would have been way more successful and popular if people remembered the first game more. Control. Mad Max. Uplink 2001. What song do you consider to be a work of art or a musical masterpiece? I know I said it earlier, but if Hotel California is not on here, Bohemian Rhapsody. Mozart's Requiem. Lift by Radiohead. It's too good. It's so good that they had to keep it off their album because they were scared it was going to be Creep number 2. Bach. The Lord of the Rings music. Hallelujah. Melodrama by Lorde. Renaissance by Beyonce. Folklore and Evermore by Taylor Swift. And Charlie by Charlie XCX. All of those are classic, good freaking albums. Frank Ocean. Pyramids. Money by Pink Floyd. The way they go from 7/4 to 5/4 time and back gets me every time. Pink Floyd is one of my dad's favorite bands, and he put me on them, dude. I love Pink Floyd. Who on earth is somebody that nobody hates? Bob Ross? Yeah, probably. Probably the same 7 people who show up here every time this question gets asked. Yep, Bob Ross, Mr. Rogers, Dolly Parton, yada yada yada. Danny DeVito, Morgan Freeman, Keanu Reeves, breathtaking, yeah. Paul Rudd. How has no one said Steve Irwin? Everyone says Steve Irwin. Thank you. The man and his family has so much respect for nature and other people. Rowan Atkinson, your mom, OP. Betty White. Bob Marley. What would your superhero catchphrase be? I'm too old for this shit. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Bite the pillow, evildoers. I'm going in dry. Who ordered the whoop-ass fajitas? Don't thank me. Just thank God I'm here. By the force of the fabulous foreskin. Catchphrase. What business do you think are front for money laundering? Nail salons and car washes run by wires of chemistry teachers. Art. My sister works in art industry and I know how grossly underpaid artists are. So every time I see art being sold for a very high price by some unknown artist, especially when I don't see anything good about the art they sell and no other critics reviewed it either, so I often just assumed there's something shady going on there. Who pays $100 grand for a drawing of nothing but a circle? It's all a scam. It's all a scam. All of the American candy shops in London, especially the ones on Oxford Street. Strip clubs. Lots of cash coming through the doors and tons of opportunities to launder it. Art auctions as well. Nice try, officer. Psychic or tarot reading shops. Nobody said mattress stores yet? I'm surprised. Bakeries. I see so many with no one coming in or out, they stay in business for years. Bars. All insurance companies. Rug stores. Like Persian rug stores. Hey, that's it everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye.